Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Slayer Sunday, where I will be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 2, Episode 11, Ted. The episode begins with Buffy and me not understanding what the hell Xander is talking about. Who is Tennille? Anyway, they say it's been quiet lately with Spike and Drusilla in hiding, and we get confirmation that the Order of Taraka has been called off, so no more surprise bounty hunters. Buffy finds her front door open and goes rushing in when she hears a crash, but Joyce is just making out with some dude named Ted, and into the credits we go. Joyce met Ted when he upgraded her computer, sexily, but Buffy is not convinced. Willow loves Ted because he promises to upgrade her computer for free, and Xander loves Ted because mini pizzas. Ted apologizes to Buffy for the unexpected way they met, and he and Joyce want her to be okay with it. She says she's fine, but takes her frustration out on some poor vampire she pummels with a bin lid. Giles takes a seat until she's done, and she finally stakes him into dust. Giles asks if she's okay, and she says she is, until she goes on a rant about Ted. The next day in school, Xander goes on about how great Ted is, which upsets Buffy because she thinks he's just too nice. Xander mocks her, and then Ted shows up inviting the gang to mini golf on the weekend, which Buffy tries to get out of, but Xander agrees to on her behalf. Giles cautiously goes to see Jenny, who is still pretty cold towards him. She says she's okay but has trouble sleeping, and asks him to stop checking up on her, and he leaves. Buffy rants about Ted to Angel, who is bored of hearing about it, and she apologizes, explaining that she misses her dad but promises to give Ted a chance. They all go to play mini golf, where Buffy is upset to find Joyce has told Ted about her failing grades, and then her ball goes into the bushes. She cheats by picking it up and dropping it into the hole, but Ted catches her and threatens to hurt her before pouring on the charm in front of the others, and holy hell, I'm creeped out. The following morning, Joyce tells Buffy off for her attitude, and she in turn tells Joyce about Ted's threat, but she doesn't believe her. In school, Buffy asks Willow to investigate Ted, and Xander tells her she's overreacting, before complimenting Cordelia on her outfit, which pisses her off, so he chases after her. She's mad because she's worried that people will find out about their secret relationship, but they discuss it at 90 decibels in a public place, and then go off to make out. Willow agrees to help Buffy and finds out where Ted works so Buffy can sneak around. She talks to one of Ted's co-workers who tells her that he's booked his wedding to Joyce for 2 months' time. At dinner that night, Buffy asks if the two of them are engaged, and Ted says hopefully soon and to get used to him being around. Buffy makes a remark about wanting to kill herself and is sent to her room, and seriously, this whole episode gives me the creeps. Buffy sneaks out to go on patrol, and when she sneaks back in, she finds Ted in her room who's been through her things and read her diary.
Everything you do is nothing but my business from now on.
She tries to throw him out, but he calls her delusional and threatens to have her locked up. And when he tries to leave with her diary, she stops him, and they get into a fight which Joyce witnesses. Buffy kicks Ted and he falls down the stairs, which kills him. As his body is taken away, Joyce lies to the police and tells them Ted simply fell, but Buffy admits to her part in it and she's taken in for questioning. She tries to explain what happened, but she hasn't bruised, which doesn't back up her story, even though the cop says he understands. He tells Joyce to take Buffy home for now, but they can't bring themselves to talk to each other. The next day in school, Willow, whose jumper looks like a packet of wine gums, comforts her, and Xander asks what kind of monster Ted was, but nope, he was human. Buffy can't come to terms with what she's done and runs off. Willow, Xander and Cordelia are trying to dig up some dirt on Ted while Giles arms himself to go on patrol in Buffy's stead. Xander starts acting weird while eating one of Ted's cookies, so Willow takes it off him. Buffy tries to apologize to Joyce, but she's still too upset to talk about it and sends her to her room, while Willow discovers the secret ingredient in Ted's cookies is tranquilizers. Delicious. Cordelia comes in with marriage certificates and an address, although who knows where she got them from, and Giles gets jump scared by Jenny, who wants to apologize, but her apology comes with a free vampire. Stuck in her room, Buffy tries to climb out the window, except Joyce has nailed it shut, and then eek! Ted is behind her, wanting an apology. We get a duo of fights, Jenny and Giles versus the vampire, and Buffy versus Ted. Although you've got to admire the latter two's commitment, as Sarah Michelle Gellar had the flu, and John Ritter was suffering from food poisoning during the filming of this scene. Jenny tries to help by shooting an arrow at the vamp, but hits Giles instead. However, he doesn't take it lying down and uses the same arrow to dust their opponent. Ted strangles Buffy, so she stabs him with a nail file, revealing he's actually a robot, and he knocks her out. The Scoobies break into Ted's place, where Willow notes 4 marriages but no divorces, and they find a trapdoor under the rug. Ted then gives Joyce a freaking heart attack by sneaking up behind her and spins some bullshit story before saying this.
Daddy's here.
Ugh, this is creepier than that dude made of bugs. The trapdoor leads to a retro-looking basement,
Petridge Farm remembers,
where Xander opens a cupboard before slamming it shut again.
What's in there?
His first 4 wives.
Joyce wants to talk to Buffy, and Ted goes off on one and starts glitching out. Jenny takes Giles to the hospital, although they don't seem to have the bag of weapons with them. That's irresponsible. And Buffy wakes up from her unexpected nap. Ted says they need to go, and Joyce will never leave him, and she realizes finally that he's a psycho right before he twats her into a wall. Buffy returns the favor by belting him with a frying pan, which makes Ted even creepier if that's possible, and another hit puts him down for good. Hello, nightmare fuel. Joyce is still shaken from the whole experience, and we learn in a Xander exposition dump that the real Ted was dumped by his wife because he was dying, so he built a robot copy of himself which held his wife hostage until she died, and then kept replacing her, and seriously, that's majorly screwed up. The episode ends with Buffy walking in on Giles and Jenny making out. Okay, I hate this episode, and I was dreading having to rewatch it. God, it's so damn creepy. And even though Ted turned out to be a serial killer robot, it was all just a little too real. Buffy is the victim of domestic abuse, which is a horrifying topic to cover. And not only that, Ted is gaslighting her. I've not experienced this firsthand, but knowing people that have makes my skin crawl. It's hard to describe why I hate this episode so much, but I think it hits the too real button too many times. You know I hate overly dickish behaviour, but what makes Ted worse is that on the surface he appears to be nice, and I've known people just like that. Moving away from the themes, I also have a problem with how a sick and dying man was able to make a hyper-realistic, and presumably anatomically correct, robot in a time where the most high-tech mobile phone you could get was this. And I know the show is mystical, but there's no mention of the real Ted using magic to aid in his creation. I did like the idea of all the food you see everyone but Buffy eating throughout the episode being drugged, which explains their complicit behaviour. But also, it's super creepy. Alright, so we have 2 more deaths to add to our list. I'm not counting Ted because I draw the line at robots, and I'm also not counting the real Ted or his 4 previous wives. Show, don't tell. So our deaths are 2 vampires, one beaten into jam and then staked by Buffy, and the other killed by Giles with the arrow Jenny stuck in his butt. That brings our running total to 10 humans, 3 transformations, 22 vampires, 1 zombie, 1 mummy, and 3 demons. So there you have it. That was Ted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.